We have the great. What's poppin', people? It's Dante, just getting my morning started off here along the Schuylkill River Trail. You can create a new world in a fraction of a second. One of the greatest gifts in my life is the medium of photography. You might be wondering why. I'd say it's simply the way in which it allows me to embrace the spirit of play, where I don't have to take my life so seriously. I can simply go out there just curious about what's around the corner, curious about what's down the river, curious about life itself, where I throw myself on the front lines of life each and every day, waiting, eager for the sun to peer above the horizon. Check it out, I'm in the mouth of a snake right now. And ooh, I got a new light unlocked. See, the beauty of a compact digital camera is that I can hold it up really high like this. And I actually never noticed that I can place this light in the frame, right? And yeah, there's something beautiful and liberating about the snapshot. I can even get it on this side. If I go to a low angle, maybe I can fit some of those buildings. Who knows? Who cares? The point is, I can endlessly return to this same location day in and day out, over and over again, and still not make the same photograph twice, like the river moving, like the water flowing and grooving. You know, light too is moving and changing each and every day, and the way that it casts upon surfaces and gives shape and form to places, faces, and things, it gives you this endless possibility to create something new where you cannot make the same photograph twice. I can walk this same mundane lane every single day and still find something. And to me, this is an uplifting feeling. To me, this is an abundant place to be. And this is where I believe we should all seek to achieve our inspiration in photography, right? The inspiration, it's right outside your window. You know, you should recognize the physicality of photography, you know, the movement of your physical body, the agility required. I really believe the physical nature of life, of photography, is supreme. And I believe our courage, right? What is a photograph? A photograph is a reflection of your courage. A photograph is a reflection of your heart, your soul. Courage, core meaning heart. I think that courage is what carries you onto the front lines of life. Courage is what carries you closer to life itself and puts you outside your window, outside your door, right? It gets you out there. Think of David penetrating Goliath with a headshot and beheading him. The small farmer boy, you know, facing this beast, this savage, armoring himself with courage, with heart. You know, we too should seek that courage that David had. And inspiration, right? It's a funny thing. Maybe these birds are my muse. I like waking up early so that I can listen to these beautiful songs. You know, the problem with modern music is a lot of it is very lowly, decadent, and it seems as though yeah, most of the music these days is very emotional and doesn't put you in this good headspace. And so for me, I want my head to be lofty. I want my body to physically and mentally elevate, right? Both physically and metaphorically, kind of thing. Like, I walk this lane off the grid so that I can achieve a nice morning walk, enjoy the crisp breeze, that early morning, that nice light, that beautiful sunrise, the beautiful sounds, you know, embracing all my senses, the smells, you know, touching things, enjoying things, doing some little parkour, getting my steps in as early as possible, photographing as early as possible. But what's really important for me during this walk is that I can walk in about 25 to 30 minutes to the top of the Philadelphia Museum of Art over there, right? The famous rocky steps, you know, I walk to every morning after I hit the cliff. But behind this Philadelphia Museum of Art, there's this beautiful cliff, there's a pavilion, amazing architecture. You know, I can look out towards the horizon. I want to see beyond the horizon. I need my body to elevate. I need to go up and look out and find my place in this world. You know, I want to find my place in the world so that I can move it. And, you know, there's something about the position of this museum. There's something about the way that it's seated up on this cliff, this hill, this mountain. You know, it just allows me to conquer it each day. I need to conquer things. I need to conquer the streets, conquer the morning, conquer myself. You know, perhaps that's the goal. Beep Boop Central High School, winner of the first Robotics World Championship. Wow, my high school I graduated from won the first Robotics World Championship. Nice. Been thinking about robots a lot. You know, what is the city but merely cars and computers? For me, the city, it's filled with cars. You go into an office, you operate a computer. You know, technology quite literally controls the grid itself. Think of the flashing white man that appears on the light stands. Think of the crosswalk and the red, yellow, and green lights that flash and determine whether or not you can cross the street. You know, how many car crashes have I seen in the city? How many hit and runs do I hear about? You know, it's funny when I travel to Mumbai, India, or Hanoi, Vietnam, you know, there's this controlled chaos in the streets where the cars can drive crazily without regard to any law or rules or guidelines. But there's this controlled chaos where I never saw an accident over there. I never had any issues with the vehicles. You have to be hyper aware and cognizant. The problem now is when we become ingrained to this, you know, we just abide by these systems, what happens is everyone becomes kind of oblivious. People start to go on their phones when they're driving. People start to hit each other, and there's lots of traffic jams and or accidents. And, you know, I think that the system, the computer, the city, it's designed to keep everyone perfectly in order. But when you visit other countries, you recognize how bustling and alive the street life is. Where I walk around the city, and sometimes it feels like the Matrix, right? Have you ever noticed how many people have these sunglasses on these days? It's almost as if sunglasses dehumanizes the person. You know, for me, when morning, bro. When I look into the eyes of a person, it's almost as if I look into their soul, right? And when you cannot see within their soul, when I cannot see their eyes, there's something that becomes less human about them. It's almost as if they're the agents in the Matrix movie, which is a funny thought. And the trifecta, the combination of sunglasses, AirPods, and phones in their hands is the worst. You know, it's like, as a photographer on the street, I want to photograph the soul of the street, you know? And unfortunately, when people are wearing sunglasses, there's a lack of soul within the soul or within the person. And I don't know, there's something about it. It really does. It's a pet peeve. You know, we all can choose to live the way that we wish and deem. But alas, yeah, that's one of my biggest problems when I walk the streets. It's like, damn, everyone's got freaking AirPods and everyone's got sunglasses on. There's like, it becomes this like antisocial place where the street, it's merely no man's land. It's just information, data moving back and forth. Yeah, so yeah, shout out to Central High School. Yeah, we won the first World Championship robotics thing. Cool. Yeah, you know, another thought I had about robots and warfare, it's like, have you ever played Halo? Have you ever played Call of Duty? Counter-Strike? You know, first-person shooter game where you just use an Xbox controller? I remember actually in Central High School, for my freshman year, we read this book, Ender's Game, where you are on these boys are on a spaceship fighting in a simulated battle, and during this battle, they wind up winning a war unknowingly, as they believed it to be just a simulation. I believe they used similar technology to VR or some sort of video game stuff. And, you know, just think, it's now possible using robotics, using AI and drones, using Xbox controllers to wield this weaponry, right? And just sit back in a citadel, a base, a bunker, move your analog stick around, click, boom, and blow up an entire city just with by the comfort of your home or your base, you know, sitting back, kicking back with an Xbox controller, looking at a screen. You know, there's this lack of human connection in war and on the street. But the street to me becomes this battlefield, this place for me to conquer, where there is no more glory to be had on the battlefield. I don't seek these new war games. You know, I even, after my Peace Corps service, contemplated enlisting in the United States military as an interesting venture to go upon, you know, because I was coming home from this incredible experience and I want more. I'm seeking more, and unfortunately there really is no need, as I see pure destruction, pure chaos, pure slaughter these days in war, which I am not too fond of, honestly. And so I decided not to enlist. I don't know, maybe it was like a moral decision after I started thinking about it. Like, think of the false flags for us going to the Middle East in search of the weapons of mass destruction, right? Did we ever find those weapons of mass destruction? No. What we found is now in the West and the rest of the world, the weapons of mass distraction are quite literally just in your front right pocket. And it's the iPhone, it's the media, it's the television screen, it's the newspaper stand, it's all of the things that are distracting, the smoke screens. You know, I believe that the distractions around us are the weapons. You know, where you can check your TV, you can check your phone, and you can watch the chaos upon your screen. However, when you remain in the present moment, in the now, you are at peace. And I think that we should seek to avoid the ugly in this world and surround ourselves with beauty in our everyday lives. So what I like to do is come to these locations to quite literally be physically around beautiful things, whether it's the nature walk or the architecture itself. You know, for I believe that architecture, sculpture, these things, music, you know, these are some of the highest forms of art that elevate the human spirit. You know, I believe that the goal of art is to elevate the human spirit to a new height, to transcend the basic and go beyond this world. You know, where a lot of sculptures and artwork that I see on the streets are some of the best of human capability. Think of City Hall, one of the largest municipal building in the country, crafted by the Scottish Freemasons. You know, we have William Penn standing on top, our founder of Philadelphia, of Pennsylvania. We have beautiful sculptures all throughout the walls. There's columns. It's standing so tall. It's one of the most grand buildings I've ever seen in my life, as is this museum here, and a lot of the sculptures you can find both around City Hall, around this museum. I mean, there's something about it where you look up at a sculpture, you look up at a building, and it inspires you to go beyond and to reach that new height. It's something that's quite literally physically bigger than life, bigger than a human. A sculpture is bigger than you. You look up at it and it inspires you to almost become it or go beyond it. You know, is it uplifting or not? You know, that's maybe the goal of art. It's to be lofty, to elevate, to the Mouse Utopia experiment I just was reading about. John B. Calhoun put a bunch of mice in a cage to study the effects of population density. And are we living in Mouse Utopia? It's either Mouse Utopia or Mouse Dystopia. You know, as their cage is filled with abundance, right? Think of the city, think of all the food we have, all of the things that we have. You know, we have an abundance of things, an abundance of resources. You know, we start to thrive, the population grows. Alas, with abundance, there is social withdrawal. People become isolated, which then leads to more antisocial mice, more aggression. The mice start to eat each other. There's lack of maternal care. There's a decline in the population. And yeah, ultimately, the mice are on decline. Is the world, society, the city, the country also on decline? Is our population increasing? Is our population decreasing? From my observations, I see more dogs with shoes and dogs in baby strollers and dogs being cooked for over stovetops and dog people on the street. You know, there's this new thing, it's like dogs on Paul Row or something like that, and they're asking for people's credit card information to get these dogs chemotherapy or something. You know, it's like maybe we care more about the dogs than the humans. Maybe ultimately the strong will inherit the earth. Maybe the people that are willing to make sacrifices and not merely live for themselves will be the ones that inherit this world. Also, think of this city, think of Philadelphia as Athens. You know, this welcome to Athens. You know, this is the birthplace of democracy here in the United States. Athens being the birthplace of democracy in terms of civilization. Yeah, so maybe we should think more like we're living in Athens as Philadelphians. I mean, just look at this. Wow. Wow, wow. It's just so freaking beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Uplifts the spirit. Look at the pruning of these trees. They're so perfect. But there's something about perfection, right? There's no such thing. Imperfection is perfection. The motivation's in your legs. If you can't find time to photograph in the day, sell your camera gear and buy a Ricoh, put it in a pocket, and wake up early. Honestly, there's no excuses. Oh wow, there's people here. There's actually people here. That's a first. Yeah, we have the great grid. How are you? I come here every morning.